Hello, dear students. In our last class, in our last session, we have covered about what is OSI model, characteristics of OSI model, and three layers among 7 layers, 3 layers, that is physical layer, data link layer and network layer we have covered so far. So this is the continuing part of OSI model, as I have given here part 2. Okay, so before start the topic, my name is Bankeshwar Panigrahi, faculty BCA department, Chikiti Mahavidyalaya. So today we are start with the continue session of OSI model, and we have discussed, as I have told, we have discussed about the 3 layers, that is physical layer, data link layer and network layer so far. And today we are going to discuss about the remaining 4 layers. They are transport layer, session layer, presentation layer and application layer. Okay, so first we may go to the transport layer. Okay, so what is the major responsibility of transport layer and what are the different services or functions provided by the transport layer? All about the transport layer we are going to discuss. So transport layer says that, or the responsibility of transport layer is that messages are transmitted in the order, in which they are sent, and there is no duplication of data. That means whatever the messages are came into the transport layer, or in order which they are came, they are sent in that same manner to the other systems. Okay, to the other systems. And how the order is known? The order is accessed by identifying the header information or header address information. Okay, so what is the major part here? It says that messages are transmitted in the order in which they are sent, and there is no duplication data, and duplicate data are also avoided by the transport layer. Okay, so what is the next major point here? Listen carefully. After my speech is over, you may go to the notes. Okay, listen carefully. So another main functionality is it is transfer the data completely. Okay, that means it transfers whatever may be the data and how long data is there. There is no effect on the transport layer, and this layer is to transfer the data completely. Okay. So what next? It receives the data. It receives the data from the upper layer. From the upper layer, that means from the session layer. Okay. And converts them into segments. Okay. Another point is there. So what is the most important point? It receives the data from the upper layer. It receives the data from the upper layer. Okay. And it converts them into segments. And it converts them into segments. Okay. These are the segments. It provides point-to-point connection. It provides point-to-point connection between the source and destination. Between the source and destination device. So here connection is point-to-point connection. Okay. So here also in transport layer, by operating all these functions, to operate all these functions, basically it uses two types of protocols. What are they? One is TCP and second one is UDP. So what is the full form of TCP? Transmission Control Protocol. Okay. So why the TCP and what is the function of TCP in transport layer? It allows the systems to communicate over the internet. Okay. So if the two systems want to communicate with the internet facility, then there must be TCP is there. Okay. There must be TCP is there. Okay. So TCP controls the total transmission process and the entire transmission process. Okay. Whatever may be the transmission process is going on, that is totally controlled by the TCP protocol. Okay. And what is the another protocol that is used here? That is UDP. What is the function of UDP? UDP is generally used for transfer the datagrams. What the transfers the datagrams. Okay. We may go to the notes about the introduction of transport layer. Here they are the notes. This transport layer is a layer for ensures that messages are transmitted in the order in which they are sent. That means from where? From the upper layer, how the way they are sent or how the manner they are sent. Okay. And there is no duplication of data, and duplication data are not allowed in the transport layer. So the main responsibility of the transport layer is to transfer the data completely. To transfer the data completely. Okay. It does not provide the facility to transfer half messages or in the packet format, but also it transports the whole message or the complete message at a time, or the complete data at a time. It receives the data from the upper layer and converts them into smaller units. They are known as segments. So what are the segments? The smaller units of data. They are come from the upper layers, that is session layers. Okay. And they are known as small units. They are converted into small units and they are known as the segments. Okay. So this layer can be termed as end-to-end layer, as it provides a point-to-point connection. As I told you that a transport layer provides point to point connection between the source and destination device. Okay. So the two protocols used in this layer are transmission control protocol and user datagram protocol. So what is the functionality of transmission control protocol? As I told you that it is a standard protocol that allows the systems to communicate over the internet. That means whenever we are using the internet connection or internet facility to communicate with each other, or two systems used to communicate with each other, then they must need the transmission control protocol. But it establishes and maintains a connection between the hosts. Host means the two computers. Okay. When data is sent over the TCP connection, then the TCP protocol divides the data into smaller units known as segments. So first the TCP converts the data into the segments, and each segment travels over the internet using multiple routes, and they arrive in different orders at the destination. Okay. So the transmission control protocol records the packets in the correct order at the receiving end. That means what is the main function of TCP is here? TCP divides the data into smaller units, that is called segments, and after conversion of segments, the segments travel in multiple routes towards the destination end. Okay. So this is all about the TCP. And what is the use of UDP? User datagram protocol is a transport layer protocol. It is an unreliable transport protocol, as in this case receiver does not send any acknowledgement when the packet is received. That means when the message is reached to the receiver end, so source receiver must have transfer acknowledgement towards the sender end. But here there is a receiver does not send any acknowledgement when the packet is received. The sender, that's why the sender does not wait for any acknowledgement. Therefore this makes a protocol unreliable. That's why it is called as a unflexible, unreliable, or unflexible or unsuitable protocol. Okay. So what are the functionalities are there? Service point addressing. So first functionality is there, service point addressing. So first I want to told you that what is service point addressing. Service point addressing means the data can be transferred from one process to another process within a computer. In all the cases, we are not transferring our messages from one the computer to another computer, but some cases in a single computer, when we are working with number of application programs, if we want to share some information between those two application programs or between two programs, then we have to use the service point addressing. Okay. So how they transfer their messages? Service point addressing adds a header that contains the address known as the service point address. That means which within a program, in which part or in which area we have to enter our resources from other applications, that should be defined in the service point addressing. Okay. Here it is given, computers run several programs simultaneously. Due to this reason, the transmission of data from source to the destination not only from the computer to another computer as I have told you, but also from one process to another process. The transport layer adds the header that contains the address known as the service point address, or we can also say it port address. The responsibility of the network layer is to transmit the data from one computer to another computer, and the responsibility of the transport layer is to transmit the message to the correct process. Okay. Next functionality is there segmentation and resembling. What is that? Segmentation and resembling. So what is segmentation and what is resembling? Okay, listen carefully. What is segmentation? First we have to know that what is segmentation. Okay, sorry, what is segmentation? When the message, listen carefully, when the message receives from upper layer, first it divides the message into multiple segments. Okay, from the session layer, when some messages are transported or transferred towards the transport layer, then that upper layer messages divides into multiple segments, and each segment is assigned with a sequence number that uniquely identifies each segment, and this process is called as segmentation. Okay, what is that? When some messages are transferred from the upper layers towards the transport layer, then the transport layer divides it into multiple segments or multiple small parts. Okay, that is called as the segments, and it puts a sequence number that uniquely identifies that sequences. That means sequence number means 1 2 3 4. Okay, okay, so 1 2 3 4, these are called up to n number of sequence numbers are there. So by identifying that unique numbers, sorry, uniquely sequence numbers used for to identify the segments, particular segments. This process is called as the segmentation. What is resembling? When the messages are arrived, okay, so when the messages are arrived at the destination, so this is called the source part. Segmentation is the source part, but resembly is the receiver part. Okay, you have to understand segmentation is the source related part and resembly is the destination related part. So what is the resembly? When the message has arrived at the destination, then the transport layer resembles the message, that means split the message or divides the messages based on their sequence number or arranges them based on their sequence number. This is called the resembly. Okay, as you are better understand, we may go through the notes. What is that? When the transport layer receives the message from the upper layer, it divides the message into multiple segments, and each segment is assigned with a sequence number that uniquely identifies each segment. When the message has arrived at the destination, then the transport layer resembles the message based on their sequence numbers. So this is the functionality of transport layer. Okay, this is all about the transport layer. Okay, so the next layer is session layer. Okay, what is session layer? So why we are using session layer? Okay, basically the session layer is responsible. Okay, basically the session layer is responsible to establish, maintain and synchronizes the interaction between communicating devices. The interaction between communication devices. Okay. What is the responsibility? It is used to establish, maintain and synchronizes the interaction between communicating devices. Okay. So what are the functions are there? Two major functions are there. One is dialogue control and synchronization. Okay. First I will talk you. Okay. Then we may go to the notes. Okay. So what is dialogue control? Dialogue control means, listen carefully, dialogue control means it is a dialogue controller. What is that? It is a dialogue controller, or session layer acts as a dialogue controller that creates a dialogue between two processes. Creates a dialogue between two processes. Okay. So that means here the dialogue controller acts as a mediator or the medium in between the two processes. Okay. So next functionality is synchronization. Okay. So what is synchronization? It adds some checkpoints. Okay. To avoid the errors, it adds some checkpoints when transmitting the data in a sequence. When transmitting the data in a sequence. Why the checkpoints are used? Because each and every time it gives the update information. Okay. If we are not using the checkpoints and we are transferring some heavily amount of data or large amount of data, then if some data are lost in between the transmission, okay, then we are not identifying the lost data, or from the data where the data loss is there, we can't found easily. If we give some checkpoints or the sequence numbers, then we easily identify that in our large message or large information in which section or in which area some data are but lost. We have to easily find out. Okay. So listen carefully. What is synchronization? It adds checkpoints when transmitting the data in a sequence. If some error occurs in the middle of the transmission, as I have told you, if data loss is there or if transmission is not forwarded from there, okay, of the data, then the transmission will take place again from that checkpoint. Okay, again from that checkpoint, not from, okay, first. Okay, not from first. Okay, we go to the notes. So it is the layer 3 in the OSI model. The session layer is used to establish, maintain and synchronizes the interaction between communicating devices. These are the two functions, as I have told you, that dialogue control and synchronization. A dialogue control, it is given briefly. Session layer acts as a dialogue controller that creates a dialogue between two processes, or we can say that it allows the communication between two processes, which can be either half duplex or full duplex. They are the modes of communication. Okay. And what is synchronization? Session layer adds some checkpoints when transmitting the data in a sequence. If some error occurs in the middle of the transmission of data, then the transmission will take place again from the checkpoint. This process is known as synchronization and recovery. Okay. Then we may go to the next layer, that is presentation layer. Okay. What is that? Presentation layer. So what about presentation layer? Okay. What about presentation layer? So the presentation layer mainly concerned with some rules and regulations, or we can say it some syntax and semantics, okay, of the information exchanged between the two systems. Okay. Again, presentation layer mainly concerned with what? Syntax and semantics of the information exchanged between the two systems, and it acts as a data transfer for a network, okay. So here all these operations are going on: encoded, encrypted and compressed data, decoded, decrypted and decompressed data, okay. So this is the receiver end and this is the what? Sender end, okay. So what is encoded, what is encrypted and what is compressed, okay, we will discuss, okay. These are the functions, okay. So first, what is that? Translation is done, and that translation process, okay, whatever may be the user understandable data we are given, it must be converted into computer understandable data or in machine format. That translation process is otherwise known as the encoded format, okay. Not only user understandable data, what type of data we were given, that must be converted into machine code or machine understandable format. That process is known as the translation process, is known as the encoded format. And what is encryption here? What is encryption? It is needed for privacy, okay. So it is a process of converting the sender transmitted information into another form, okay, into another form. What is that encryption? It is used for privacy, and it is a process of converting the sender transmitted data or information into another form, okay. Then what is compression? Compression of data means reduce the number of bits to be transmitted. That means suppose huge amount of bits are there and we have small storage area, then we have to compress the data to store the data in that small area. That process is known as the what? Compression of data. Compression is nothing but reduce the number of bits to be transmitted, okay. This is all about the presentation layer. We go to the notes. Presentation layer is mainly concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information exchanged between the two systems. It acts as a data translator for a network, okay, that is called as the encoded format, okay, encoding. This layer is a part of the operating system that converts the data from one presentation format to another format, and the presentation layer is also known as the syntax layer, okay. So these are the functions. First one is translation. So the process in two systems exchange the information in the form of character strings, numbers and so on. Different computers use different encoding methods. The presentation layer handles the interoperability between the different encoding methods. It converts the data from sender dependent format into a common format and changes the common format into receiver dependent format at the receiving end. That is called as the encoding format. And I have told you what is encryption. It is needed to maintain privacy, and encryption is a process of converting the sender transmitted information into another form and sends the resulting message over the network. What is compression? data compression is a process of compressing the data, that is, it reduces the number of bits to be transmitted, and a data compression is a very important in multimedia such as text messages, audio messages and video messages. Okay, so this is all about the presentation layer. We may go to the last layer, that is the application layer. Okay, that is the application layer. So this is the application layer or the last layer. So how the application layer works? It works as a window for the users and application process to access network service, the network service. It provides some network services to the end users. All the network issues and the network facilities are related with the application layer. That means all the application issues are related with the application layers. Okay, so here some functionalities are there. Two functionalities are there. One is how the file transfers between the networks and how they are accessed, and what is the management done to transfer a process from one layer to another layer, or from one location to another system, or one destination to source or source to destination path. Okay, these all are comes under the application layer. And the important factor is that in case of application layer, it provides mailing services. What is that? Mailing services. What is the mailing service? It provides the facility for email forwarding and storage. That means whatever we are forwarding emails, okay, that comes under the application layer. Here is the notes. An application layer serves as a window for users and application processes to access network service. It handles issues such as network transparency, resource allocation, etc. An application layer is not an application, but it performs the application layer functions. This layer provides the network services to end users. Okay. That means all the network issues are related to the application layer. So these are the functions as I have told you. An application layer allows a user to access the files in a remote computer, to retrieve the files from a computer, and to manage the files in a remote computer. Okay, that is called as FTAM. Okay, and another important point is there. What is that? Mail services. An application layer provides the facility for email forwarding and storage. Directory services, that is, an application provides the distributed database sources and is used to provide that global information about the various objects. So this is all about the 7 layers of what OSI model, and this is more important in our data communication. Okay, so I hope you understand, and if some doubts are there, then you can contact me in WhatsApp. Okay, so thank you.